Fine. Okay, that's really nice. Let's start our day. What is the date today? Yes, you are right. Today is 17th of January 2024 और इस्लामिक तारीख क्या है? इस्लामिक तारीख है 5 रजब 1445 हिजरी. And what is the day today? Very good, Muzammil, you are right. Today is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. और Wednesday को उर्दू में क्या कहते हैं? बिल्कुल सही जवाब. Wednesday को उर्दू में बुध कहते हैं. और बुध को अरबी में क्या कहते हैं? यौमुल अरबा. बिल्कुल सही बताया आपने. बुध को अरबी में यौमुल अरबा कहते हैं. Okay kids, look what we have today. These are 2 pencils. Did you find any difference? I told you yesterday. आपको याद है? Okay, you all remember that. Okay, now which one is long and which one is short? Very good. This one is long and this one is short. Very good. Now you have to tell me, did you find any things, any objects at your home which are long and short? Okay, you find spoons, you find different toys. Very good. So you have find objects that are long and short. Look what we have now. We have 2 threads, 2 same color threads, and you have to tell me which one is long and which one is short. Very good. This one is short and this one is long because there is a difference between them. This one is short and this one is long. Very good. You all know that. Okay kids, now we have 2 rulers. As you can see, these are 2 rulers. And you have to tell me which one is short. Is it short? I am finding it short. Very good. This one is not short. This one is long. And this is the short one. Very good. So this is larger than this. So that's why we are calling it long. And this is shorter than this. So this one is short. Now we have 2 sticks and you have to find out the long one and the short one. So which one is long? Very good. This one is long and this one is short. Your answer is correct. Very good. You all know that the things which are longer than the other, so we call them long, and the things which look like short or shorter than the other object, then we call them short. Okay kids, now we have 2 standing objects. As you can see them, these are in standing position. So what we call them? The objects that are in standing position, what we call them? Yes, we identify them as tall and short. जो ऑब्जेक्ट्स खड़े हो सकते हैं या खड़े हुए होते हैं उनको हम टॉल और शॉर्ट बताते हैं. So now you have to tell me which bottle you find tall and which one is find you short. Very good. This one is short, and this one is tall. Your answer is correct. Now you have to tell me, did you saw any trees around you? आपने देखे अपने इर्द गिर्द मुख्तलिफ दरख्त, उनमें से आपने पहचाना कि कौन से टॉल थे और कौन से शॉर्ट थे? ओके, यू ऑल फाइंड दैट। और आपने ह्यूमंस को देखा कि कौन से ह्यूमंस टॉल थे और कौन से ह्यूमन शॉर्ट थे? वेरी गुड, यू फाइंड बेबीज shorter than their mothers, and you find mothers taller than their babies. So babies are usually short and mothers are usually tall. So you find different objects. Very good. Look students, what we have now, we have two same objects. These are both markers. These both are markers and these are of same height. As you can see, there is no long and short between them. But what is the difference you are finding in it? इसमें आपको क्या फ़र्क लग रहा है? Very good. You finding it thick and you are finding it thin. ये थोड़ा सा मोटा लग रहा है और ये थोड़ा सा हमें पतला लग रहा है. So the objects which look like thick or fat, we can say them thick, and the object that look like slim or thin, we can say them thin. So this one is thick because this looks fat, or this looks bigger than this. So this one is thick and this looks like slim. So this one is called thin. Bigger than this. So this one is thick and this looks like slim. So this one is called thin. So this is a thin object and this one is a thick object. Now I am going to show you different objects and you have to identify thick and thin between them. The objects which look like fat or something bigger but actually they are of same height, जो हमें देखने में थोड़े से मोटे लग रहे होते हैं, we can say them thick, and the objects which look like thin, we can say them thin. हम उनको, जो हमें थोड़े से पतले लग रहे होते हैं, हम उनको thin भी कह सकते हैं. So these are thick and thin objects. Okay kids, now look at here what we find. We have two books. As you can see, this one, it's also a book and this one is also a book. Now as you can see, this one is thin, it looks like slim or it is slim than this, and this one is thick. So we can say that this one is thin and this one is thick. So this one is thick and this one is thin. As you can see, now you have to tell me which one is thin. Very good. This one is thin and this one is thick. So the things that look like fat or bigger than this, we can say them thick, and the things which look like thinner or slim, we will say them thin. Now what you have to do, you have to find out different objects in your homes and you have to mark them or identify them as thick and thin. आपने क्या करना है कि आपने अपने घर में मुख्तलिफ़ चीज़ों को देखना है और फिर उनमें से आपने ढूंढना है कि कौन सी चीज़ें थिन हैं और कौन सी चीज़ें थिक हैं. You have to identify them as thick and thin. Like you have to search out different bottles at your homes and then you have to identify them as thick and thin. You can find different toys and you can identify them as thick and thin. You can find different bottles, different boxes in your home, and you have to mark them as thick and thin. Okay? Will you find it? आप सब ढूंढेंगे? Very good. I will ask you tomorrow that what did you find at your home thick and what did you find at your home thin. Now I am going to show you some more objects and you have to tell me what are thin and what are thicks. Okay kids, now look at here what I found. I found two boxes of toothpaste and these are same, but one is looking thick and one is looking thin. Now you have to find out which one is thick and which one is thin. Very good. Who will tell me? This one is thin and this one is thick because it is looking like thick or fat or big, and this is looking like small or thin or slim, but these are same. As you can see, these are same, but one is thick and one is thin. So this one is thick and this one is thin. Now you find it. This is thin and this one is thick. So you can find different objects like that at your home. These are the boxes of toothpaste and you can also find different boxes at your home and you can mark them as thick and thin. Okay, look students, we have two bottles of same color and same sizes, but one is thick and one is thin. And now you have to identify which one is looking thick or which one is looking thin. Shabash Nazhan, you have to answer me. Very good. You find it thick and you find it thin. So this one is thick and this one is thin because it's looking me big or it's looking me fat, and this one is slim and it's looking like small. So this one is thick. Very good. Now you can identify the objects which are thick and the objects which are thin. Okay kids, now we have an activity page for you. You have to find the thick objects in this page. First of all, we have different pencils and you have to find out the thick ones which we are finding thick. You have to tell me. Yes, this one is thick. Is it thick? No, this one is thin. This one is thick. And this is also thick. Very good. Is it thick or thin? This one is thin. And this one is also thin. So you have to color the thick ones and you will leave the thin ones. You have to color the only thick ones. Like this one is thick, this one is thick and this one is thick. You will color only thick ones. Next we have some nails. As you can see, we have to identify the thick ones and the thin ones. Thin ones, you have to color the only thick ones. Like this one is thick, this one is thick and this one is thick. You will color only thick ones. Next we have some nails. As you can see, we have to identify the thick ones and the thin ones. Okay, is it thick or thin? Very good, this is thin. Is it thick or thin? You are right. Your answer is correct. This is Thin. Is it thick or thin? Very good. It is thick. Is it thick or thin? Very good. This one is thick. Is it thick or thin? Your answer is correct. This one is also thick. And you will color only thick nails and you will leave thin ones. Here we have some robes. As you can see, these are 4 robes. And we have to find the thick ones and the thin ones. Is it thick or thin? Very good. This is thick. Is it thick or thin? Your answer is correct. This one is thin. Is it thick or thin? Very good. This one is. Now we have a thin snake. As you can see, this one is thin snake and you have to draw a thick snake over here. Okay, you can draw with pencil. You have to draw a thick snake here and you can color it. Then we have a thin stick and you have to draw a thick one here. You can draw with pencil and then you can color it. This is the page number 7 of book 10 and you have to do it at your home. Okay kids, now we have an activity for thin ones. Here we have to find out thin ones. As you can see, these are some pencils and we have to find out thin ones. Okay, is it thick or thin? Very good, this one is thin. Is it thick or thin? You are right, this one is also thin. Is it thick or thin? You are right, this one is thick and we will not color it. And this one is also thin one. Is it thick or thin? Very good, this one is also thin. Is it thick or thin? This one is thick and we will not color it. Now we have some feet. As you can see, now we have to identify thin ones. Very good. These purple ones are thin and we will color them. These are also thin and we can also color them, and these ones are thick. Here we have some carrots and you have to identify thin ones. Is it thick or thin? You are right, this one is thick. Is it thick or thin? This one is thick. Is it thick or thin? This one is thin. Very good. Is it thick or thin? Very good. This one is also thin. Now we have some nails. As you can see, we have some nails. Now we are going to see how many are these. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now we are going to count how many thin nails we have. We have to find out thin ones. Is it thick or thin? Is it thick or thin? Very good. These two are thin. This one is thick and these two are also thin ones. Now we are going to count thin ones. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many thin nails we have now? We have 4 nails. Now we are going to find out the thick one. How many thick nails we have? We have only 1 thick nails. Now we have some books. How many are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Now we are going to find the thin ones. Is it thick or thin? Very good. This one is thin. Is it thick or thin? You are right. This one is also thin. Is it thick or thin? Very good. This one is also thin. And this one is also thin. And these are thick ones. So now we are going to count how many thick ones we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are 4 thin ones or 4 thin books, and we have 1, 2 and 3 thick books. So this one is page number 8 of book 10 and you have to do it. And here we have another activity for tall and short that we have learned yesterday. You have to count the tall robots and then you have to write it over here, and then you have to find out the short trees and you will write it over here, and then we have to count the tall bottles and we will write it over here, and then we have to find out the short bottles and we will write it over here. And this one is a short tree and you have to draw a tall tree, and this man is tall and you have to draw a short man with it. Okay kids, that's all for today. Hope you like it and you can find the thick and thin objects around you. Allah Hafiz.